Hey everybody, welcome to It's a Metal Thing. Today I put a Coyote in a Falcon. Let's do it. All right, here it is, 2016. I don't remember how many miles on it. I could look up. I got this from the parts farm. It took a while to get, but they told me at the beginning it was going to take a while. They had good communication. They'd get in touch with me every once in a while and give me an update of where I was in the line. I'm happy with the way it was packaged. I'm happy with the deal. I paid a little more because I bought it quite a while ago when the price for Coyotes was a little higher, but it comes with all the stuff. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to build my own fuel tank. So I'm going to use this fuel pump because one, it plugs right in, and two, it reads the gauge, so that'll work since I got that gauge in there. It comes with the gauges, as you saw. It comes with the center section with the radio and the climate control. Comes with the steering, which I won't use. Comes with the pedals. I think about using air boxes, all that stuff. So it's actually pretty good. Oh, and a drive line, which is going to help a lot too. That'll save me a couple bucks. Like I said in the other video, I wonder if it'll go right in. It's kind of weird. It'd be crazy if it did, but we'll see. So what I need to do though is I'm going to pull the wood off, pull these headers off. I'm going to make some hanger mounts. It'll bolt to the head. I'll use the header for a template to make the plates. I'll make them heavy duty enough, have them stick proud out here so I can hang it from four corners, even if I have to run a stringer across just to keep the plastic from getting damaged. I bought one of these from Harbor Freight. It's the 2-ton one. It's a little bit longer, a little more heavy duty. I think this distance here will work out good for the hanging point. Like I said, I'll put a stringer across. I'll figure out the chains and clips and all the good stuff. So first things first, I'm going to pull the plywood off this thing and pull the headers off and make some of those brackets to hang this thing with. So I'm going to do that now. All right, got the header off. Trying to figure out, I was thinking I would go over a port, but with that angle there, it's going to be kind of weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off of these two here. I'm going to probably, I have some, this is 1.25 inch, I believe, amount of thread or whatever the metric equivalent is. It's America, damn it. This is a 15, taking this thing off. So, and this distance here is 3 15/16 or whatever metric that is. So I'm going to take some 3/4 inch flat bar, which should bring me out far enough to clear at least here. I'm not going to go here, and then I'll weld a piece of tube to that. So it'll give me some strength, that tube and that flat bar on here. So I'm going to cut some pieces 6 inches long. I'm going to drill a hole at 3 15/16. I'll drill it oversized so it won't be an issue, 1/2 inch or whatever. Then I'll bolt those back on here, and I'll be able to scribe or put a mark on here where a piece of tubing will come up, and I'll have it just stick a little proud out here, and the tubing will add rigidity this way. Rather than a piece of flat bar that'll bend easier, a piece of tubing will hold this straight. So I'm going to do that next. First I got to get some duct tape on those ports, exhaust ports. Don't want any stuff getting in there. And I probably won't be using this drive line. I didn't realize it was a 2-piece. What the hell? So anyway, all right, I'm going to cut those pieces and drill them up. All right, got them cut and drilled. My buddy did it for me down there in his mill real quick. 3 15/16. I have some 1.5 0.95 square tube that I cut at 7 inches. Cut a 45 in the end. I'm going to weld it on there like that. It'll give me plenty of room over here, plenty of room from the valve cover. It's all good here. I'm going to drill a 1/2 inch hole in here. I'll weld a washer on there for the safety warriors, and then I'm going to weld them on, and should be able to lift it up. So I'm going to do that next. Done. Built pretty stout. I'm not worried about them doing anything. I built them outboard. Built them more toward the back, more toward that nut than that nut. Same as up here, toward the front and back. Just to give me a little more leverage on there. I don't know how they would work with the transmission on there. I'm never going to run the transmission on this thing. There's no way I can get that in there with the transmission. So the transmission's always going to have to come in from the bottom. But as far as getting this thing in and get it kind of level where it needs to be, I'll be able to do it off of that. So I spent a little time so I can have it just easier job getting those in and out instead of messing around with them all the time. I got that engine hoist there. It's from my buddy. I'm afraid it's not going to go high enough, but he claims he pulled a V10 out of a Super Duty with that. So we'll see. He said he left the air out of the tires, but That's not that big of a deal. So I need to lift it up a little bit, pull the transmission off, and make those motor plates, and then see if I can get that thing in there. So that's next. All right, up off the pallet with my hanging apparatus. It's not touching anywhere. It has a little bit of tension on it, but it's not enough to do any damage underneath there. I have it where it'll hang level. It was a nightmare running around getting chain. The chain that came with it wasn't enough, and had to go to 4 different places. Finally got some chain. It's just sitting on here lightly on this cart, just for stability. For the safety patrol out there, I have a piece of angle iron, zip tie it to the shaft so it can't go down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a plate, span those 6 holes. I'm going to make it full size because I'm not really sure where the motor mount's going to land or what's going to interfere, you know, all that stuff. So just give me more options. So I'm going to put some masking tape on there. I'm going to like scrape around it, rub around on it, get a template, transfer it over some 1/4 inch, drill some holes and bolt it up there. And that's going to be next. Okay, like that. Went pretty good. Gonna make another one and do some beautification and call it good. And then next thing I'm gonna do is try to set this thing down inside there. We'll try it with the tranny on it, see what the heck, you know, with this bad boy here, maybe we could get some crankage on it and get it down in there. Plus with the firewall missing, might be able to get a kind of a head start on it and moose it around. It's not painted yet, so I don't have to worry about anything. But yeah, I'm gonna make another plate and then see if I can't stab this thing in there. Maybe take that motor mount off, or that transmission mount. That's a giant mother, ain't it? Gotta be something sexier than that. I have to look into that. So yeah, make another plate and then try to stick this thing in there. All right, got the motor mounts on. They're gonna work. Need to make some bushings. I went and got material yesterday. But what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna try to get this thing in there with the tranny on it. See if it'll go. I'm gonna pull that transmission mount off. I'm gonna lower it down and scooch it over here and get it close and then lift it up and see if I can't crank that down in there. Might get lucky, you don't know. So maybe I'll set it up on a tripod and do like a time lapse or something if I can find my tripod. It's been forever. I'll do that. Okay, I can't believe I got that in, especially by myself. Not without damage though. I bent the tube on the front of the oil line there. But other than that, I think everything's all right. Definitely gonna have to do some work on this tunnel. Like it's touching in the back a bunch, and this motor needs to come up. I kind of want the motor to sit a little, engine to sit a little lower, just to help with the center of gravity and stuff, but that's way too low. And I think I'm gonna get most of that from down here, where this transmission is gonna hitting right there at that one part. So I'm gonna start out here in the back and work my way forward a little bit and just take a chunk out that I know will work. And if I can just raise it up and add a piece, we'll see. But I mean, the drive line's gonna drop down from there, so I'm not worried about the center hump, but I gotta get this up. And I don't know if we're gonna run into interference on this cross member here. But anyway, so the next thing is to get in here and cut the floor a little bit and see where we're at. All right, I'm gonna cut that out. I know it seems like a lot, and it is, but I wanna try to reuse the that tunnel. I'm just gonna try to make it bigger and add some to it to make it work. And if I nibble away at it, making a bunch of little pieces just to get it where it needs to be, then I won't be able to do that. So my plan is, you know, if I get down here in the flat, it's easier to make a transition, right? So if I have to raise this up some, I can start and just put a big, nice transition in there. If I'm right in the middle or if I'm too close or too tight, it gets harder to do. So I'm doing it here where it's kind of on the flat because it'll be easier to manipulate. Plus I'm coming all the way back here past this cross member. That cross member is gonna be in the way. I might have to make this bigger. I don't know what it's gonna look like when I get it up where it needs to be. Obviously the drive line's gonna head down toward the rear end since it sits so high, but still it's gonna be an issue at the front here in the hump. I was hoping to use factory carpet, but if I get too carried away here and I have to make it too big, then I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll figure something else out. But so I'm gonna get after this with my new body saw, cut this out and see where we're at. Holy giant hole in the tunnel, Batman. Yeah, I ain't messing around, kids. So right now the engine is sitting level according to the pulley, the crank pulley. Harmonic balancer. I don't know if it's even a balancer. I think it's just a pulley. I'm at 0.08 right now. You can't really see it because reflection. But so I gotta figure out what angle I'm gonna put that engine at. So what I need to do though is level the car up. It's not level right now since I put those tires on the back and it's not set up. So I'm gonna raise the front of the car up a little bit to get this level. Then I'll get that where it needs to be height-wise, I think, and then I'll put an angle in it. I'm gonna determine my engine angle off of the pinion angle. There's a desired pinion angle on a car like this. I have to figure out what it is. I've seen a couple videos from a couple different people, seen a couple different things. So I'm going to determine what that is, and then I'll run the engine at the same angle, just for sinking of the drive shaft. So I mean, you could pretty much run it however you want, but those two need to be kind of in the same conversation. So I'm going to figure out, we'll get this thing all leveled up and figure out what that's going to be, and then see where we're at. Engine is in. It's sitting low, really low. But part of the reason for that is the transmission hump. That transmission is huge. If I'd have known how big that transmission is when I bought this kit, I probably wouldn't have bought it with the transmission. I probably would have spent the money on a 256 or something. I would have saved enough money to buy Tremec. But it is what it is. I'm going to run what it is. So I just have it sitting on these pieces of flat bar that I tack to the chain hoist apparatus. The exhaust is pretty close to the frame, but it shouldn't be a problem. I'm gonna just run some tight 90s or out of here. The headers are gonna come up. If I'm gonna build a set of fender well headers. If I'm gonna run just exhaust, I'm gonna run a set of fender well headers. I'll do some tricky tube work in here so everyone can see it. It'll be all tricky and stainless and cool. Unless I'm gonna I might do something else in here. I'm not gonna go there, but they will also come up. Maybe go that way, but that's for another video. So it's sitting here level, pretty level this way, side to side. I kind of squared off the frame to exhaust stud. It's within, you know, a degree or so. I'm not really worried about that quite yet because I haven't finalized the engine mounts. It is crooked this way. It's really tight. So the alternator is right there and the AC is right there. So I ordered a Detroit Speed. Oh, there you go. We want to drop your fancy couple $100 digital angle finder. It's always good. There's a kit I bought. It relocates this alternator down and over. That'll give me some more room. I'll be able to scoot that over that way. This is going away. I'm either gonna run a complete relocator or they have one that you can bolt on that's a 90 degree that comes down. So that's that. Back here, the transmission. It's pretty close. I'm at 4 degrees, which is a little excessive on the engine. So I'm going to play around with that a little bit, see kind of what I need to do. I cut a lot out because I didn't want to trim away and trim away and trim away. So what I'm going to do is I need to take this brace out of here. I'll cut that out and I'll set it in there and see where I'm at. As far as that goes, the shifter is going to be tricky because it mounts right on top there and has that big long freaking lever apparatus thing here. Not sure how that's going to work. So next, I'm going to kind of concerned about the steering a little bit, obviously. This is where the original steering came out, right out of here. It can come down through here. The header's going to curve up. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down. I got a Vega box for it. That was the original plan. I'm not really sure where that's going to land in here. If it lands behind the alternator, I'll be good. So I need to get the front axle out, set it underneath here, see where I'm at as far as oil pan to axle clearance and how far forward it's going to go. I'm going to make it as far forward as I can, so that's kind of be determined by the springs that I buy. I want to kind of get everything in here and get a weight on the front of this thing so I can have some springs made. There's a guy here in town that makes springs, so I'll probably do some custom made springs rather than just buy some generic things. Plus I want to get this bad boy underneath here, my sweet 2.5 inch Mega WAC axle. So I think I'm going to end this video here because there's a lot of stuff finagling around to do, waiting on parts and stuff. So if you like the video, subscribe and check me out on Instagram. And it's a metal thing. You want to come back and see how this hot mess turns out. Just got to finalize little details here and there, and then I'll be able to get this in and then move on to the next step. So thanks for watching. See you on the next one.